Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake, and I'm back, baby! I'm here! You may not have noticed that I've been gone, but I have been. And that's the beauty of magic. And we also have Steven here. He's here too, yeah. Hey, Steven.
Well, if you're gonna be like that, I should have been the one to do the intro.
Hey, Steven!
Hey, I'm here.
Steven, the Stream King, he's been heading everything up while I've been away. Thank you, Steven.
It's been fun.
It's been fun, as always, because we have a lot of fun. This is Chortle Cast, if you didn't know, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. And today, we got a great show. We're going to talk about some Pokemon news, some Fallout news, some PS Plus news, and some Xbox games with gold news.
That's a lot of news.
That's a lot of news. We're also going to talk about our thoughts on Detroit Become Human, which is the new PS4 exclusive that came out last week? Last Friday?
Yeah, a week ago today.
Yeah, last Friday, a week ago today. I have beaten it. Steven has played about half of it. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to have a great time. But first, I want to talk about some housekeeping things because, Steven, the greatest event of our gaming community is about to be upon us.
Yes.
Steven's like,
I'm
yes.
so excited. E3 is like Christmas for me. It really is. Before I even joined up with the channel, I would act like I was a journalist on Facebook to update my friends who couldn't watch it because I'm a no-life, so I can watch every drop of E3 that they give me. And so I would tweet, I would post on Facebook about everything. And now I get to actually do E3 right with my boys. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, because last year, that was kind of when we were starting to... Actually, last year during E3, the discussion and prediction podcast, I think, was when we first pulled you on. Did we just do discussion?
It was just discussion, because what pulled me on originally was I watched you guys.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I offered to tweet for you guys while you were live. Mine and Miles' personal favorite of my tweets was Sea of Thieves. Before we realized it was garbage, it was the Sea of Thieves trailer. And it was Sea of Thieves got me wanting that booty. # Pirates Life. # Sea of Thieves.
And how many times did we make a booty joke playing Sea of Thieves? Too many. Too many indeed.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's a dead horse.
We are going to be streaming every conference except for the PC conference of E3. So
why not? I could stream the PC conference.
Does anyone really? You were probably one of like 10 people that care about the PC conference. But look, if you want to stream it, Steven, I don't know when it is.
Let us know in the comments.
If you want to see the new version of TurboTax and the new version of Minesweeper, you go right ahead. Anyway, we're going to be streaming. I'm going to run you through the quick schedule, but basically Saturday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Central Time, me and Steven, hopefully me and Steven, may just be Steven, I'm still trying to figure that out, on June 9th, that's the EA press conference. We're going to be live streaming that. On Sunday, the 10th, Microsoft is at 3 p.m. Central Time. That for sure will be me and Steven. Followed late in the night by Bethesda, which will be streaming at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That'll also be me and Steven. We'll see what they've got to say about the new Fallout. We'll get there in a minute. Then on the 11th, June 11th, Monday, Square Enix is going to have a conference. This is like their first one in, I think, 3 years, something like that, maybe 5.
And Jake is going to lose his mind.
I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to cry. I'm going to literally cry, probably. Yeah. That one is at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, so that'll probably just be me. But that does not mean it's not going to be any better or worse because I'm going to be crying about Kingdom Hearts 3 real hard. Then Steven at 3:30 p.m. is going to be streaming the Ubisoft conference. That will be just Steven. So he'll get to see what they do with Just Dance, what kind of panda they're going to bring out.
Come watch my reaction, Just Dance, whatever.
So Just Dance, whatever it is, it'll be interesting.
I'm going to turn it off right after Just Dance because let's face it, that's why we're all there. That's not true.
That's why we're all there. No. That's all we're all here to see what kind of craziness they do for Just Dance.
Yeah. I want to see
Miley
the panda
Cyrus
bear
is going to take the stage. A panda's going to pick her up and throw her off. It's going to be great. Then Also, still on Tuesday, this is going to be a crazy day. At 8 o'clock p.m., the Sony conference happens. So that's going to be me and Steven for sure. But Brody is probably going to make it to that one. Unless something crazy happens, he should be on that one as well. Then on Tuesday the 12th, Nintendo's conference is going to be happening. Due to some scheduling conflicts, I am probably not going to be on that one, even though I'm the Nintendo big boy. So Steven is going to be taking my place. And
you're stuck with me.
You're stuck with him. So you better hope they announce something for Fire Emblem. And we already know they're going to be talking a lot about Smash Brothers, but those are the two things that are going to get Steven riled up. So
honestly, I do think it's funny that the least Nintendo boy of all of the boys is going to be the one doing. But I love Nintendo.
Yes,
I really do. I just don't own a Switch yet, so I'm basically not a Nintendo fan just because I don't own a Switch.
This is what I want to see, Steven. If you watch that stream and they announce Fire Emblem, they give it a release date, I want you live to go purchase a Switch.
If they show Fire Emblem, my face is going to be like this, and you're going to see this. And I'm going to have purchased a Switch on Amazon.
Oh, man. I can't wait. It's probably going to happen, so I'm excited to see that. But anyway, I'm really going to try to make it to that one, but I'm having a bunch of scheduling conflicts with work. I know next year that I need to take off the week of E3. But anyway, all that to say, hopefully I'll make it, but Steven will be there for sure. And then apparently Steven may stream the PC one, but I don't even know when that is, so you're on your own.
Well, PC Gaming Show is where, if they ever give us information about strategy games, they come to the PC Gaming Show. You know how I am with XCOM. They actually announced War of the Chosen at E3 2 years ago. Yeah, at the PC Gaming Show. So sometimes there's some good reels. More often than not, no, they're just bragging about their new graphics card, trying to...
Got to improve that Minesweeper. Make sure TurboTax works really nice and looks really good when you do it. Anyway, all that to say, that's our E3 schedule. Because of how crazy that schedule is, we will not have any streaming schedule that we normally do on Friday and Saturday. That will remain the same. So the Friday before E3 and even the Saturday when EA's conference is will be normal. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we will not have a Let's Play. On Monday, we won't have the XCOM stream. On Tuesday, and we won't have a Let's Play on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll probably have a couch co-op stream or some sort of stream, and then Friday following, we'll have a big podcast talking about E3. So anyway, you've got a full week before that comes, but basically our schedule is going to be a little bit different because of how busy we're going to be doing E3 stuff. But expect a ton of freaking content because we're doing 6 major live streams, and I'm going to be cutting reaction videos to each game, like each major game, and reposting those as their own unit. So if you don't feel like watching through the whole thing, you can pick out which ones you want to really see our reactions to. But we are going to be like talking over and reacting to all of these streams. So if you want to just come hang out with us and kind of see how it goes, that's awesome. We're going to be looking at the chat and talking, but don't expect to quietly enjoy the conference because we will be making side comments and laughing and making jokes and all that good stuff. So anywho, it's going to be great. The other housekeeping thing I want to say, Brody is not here today, obviously. He is moving to where Steven and Miles are and leaving me all by myself. So he couldn't make it to the podcast today. But I just wanted to say, because of Brody moving, probably the next month or two is going to be maybe a little shaky. We're going to be trying a new schedule for filming stuff. It may be a lot of just me and Steven on Let's Play stuff, but we're trying to figure out what this new schedule is going to look like with people being in different places. So if you don't see Brody for like a month and a half or so, that's why we're going through a lot of changes. He'll almost definitely be in some streams as we continue on. He'll probably be joining a lot more couch co-op streams. And he might be on the podcast from Steven's side, and it may just be me over here by myself. So anywho, It's going to be different, so I just want to prepare you for that in case you are wondering what the heck's going on. Where's Brody? It's just some figuring out a new schedule and how that's all going to work.
So if Brody and I are in the same place and you're by yourself, does that mean you get to be the little box for a change?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Y'all's camera looks horrible compared to mine, so absolutely not.
It absolutely does.
I might make y'all smaller. In fact, even though there's two of you, I might just shrink it down even more. Just hide you away.
Okay, come on.
I've thrown your cartoon characters in places when sometimes my battery dies for your recorder or something. So, tell you what. So maybe get a nicer camera and we can talk about maybe doing a split screen or something. We'll see. Anyway, all that to say, let's get started with the show. We'll start with catch-up, talking about what we've been playing this week. Detroit. Lots and lots of Detroit. Steven got to play it over the weekend while I was still getting back from Israel. And I played through it a good chunk of the weekend. Well, like a good chunk of Sunday. And then Monday I was off work, so I got to play a lot on Monday.
Yeah, you burned through that game.
I burned through that game. You said it was a 10 or like an 8 or 10 hour game.
8 to 10 hour, yeah.
Probably took me 12, but I like really spent a lot of time in it. Mm-hmm. It's so good, and it's a type of game that I wouldn't like. Like you'll hear me talk about all the time. I hate QuickTime events. But these were, I don't know. It was something about the story. I really, really cared about the story. I got really invested into all three characters, but especially Kara. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and like I already started my second playthrough. I'm playing it again, and my goal is to. I feel like Kara can really only be like you have one objective, and there's just lots of different paths you can take, but you're always still kind of doing the same thing, which is protecting Alice. Right. Connor, you can play one way or another, and Marcus, you can play one way or another. So I'm reversing how I played those two guys, and then I'm kind of just going to pick different things with Kara. But anyway, all that to say, it is a freaking good game.
It's fantastic.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was really, really good. What were your thoughts, Steven? You've had a little less time, but...
if you know what you're getting yourself into, you will not be disappointed. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that probably got that game expecting it to be more gameplay than it was. Mm-hmm. That's not what it was ever supposed to be. It is basically a movie that you can shape. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the fact that like you watch a movie and you are yelling at the characters on the screen saying, "Why'd you do that? Why didn't you go this way?" Mm-hmm. This is literally that experience where your yelling matters. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's so cool how each decision feels like the right one. Like, every single thing that I did in my playthrough, decisions that I made not intending for a later outcome, mm-hmm. They ended up feeling narratively like they made sense later on. For example, with Marcus, this is really early stuff.
And we're gonna try. We're gonna try not to be spoilery. We'll talk through maybe like the first hour or so. Mm-hmm. Which honestly, if you've seen anything, like if you've seen trailers and stuff, you've probably seen a good chunk of this. But anyway, continue, Steve. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So Marcus, when he's given that initial option to fight back, when his programming says don't fight back, that's not fair. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, loved that. Mm-hmm. That was so cool. But I decided to not fight back. Mm-hmm. And so Marcus, what ended up happening to him, I could have fought back, and I don't know what happens if you fight back. But I chose not to fight back. I took it, and then he got burned for it, which makes so much more sense for his character turn later on when he starts the Android revolution like we've seen in the trailers, which I haven't really gotten there yet. But the fact that those character choices make sense, like, because I'm sure it would have made sense either way. But like talking about it, here's what I'm trying to say. I think I could talk to somebody else who's played it. I could talk to you, and I could say, oh man, that just was really awesome how Marcus was shown the error of humanity and how not defending himself still got him killed or whatever else. And then you could say, that's not what happened to me at all. I chose something else.
I'll use this example. I didn't watch a ton of your stream because I was trying to like keep myself fresh. However, the one part that I did watch of your stream was after Kara and Alice had escaped from the abusive father household, Todd, and you're in the street, and basically you have to find a place to stay for the night. I don't know that you did this or not, Steven, but there's a corner that you can stand, and it basically shows you your 3 options. And it's a motel, an abandoned house, or a car. And basically the motel is going to be the most comfortable, but you've got to get $40 somehow, and you've got to steal a change of clothes. The car is like very uncomfortable, but it says very discreet. And then the house is like discreet and safe or something like that. I can't remember. Anywho, Steven, watching you play through, because you went everywhere and you were like, I don't want to steal anything because I'm going to corrupt Alice and I don't want to do that. But then you end up doing it anyway. And you picked how to do it. But like what I found out too when I played through it is there's so much more you can do in that convenience store. Like not only can you steal cash, but you can steal food. You can steal a doll. You can steal from the guy quietly like you did, or you could point a gun at him. Like there's all sorts of things you can do there. But that's just one option that you went through, and I was loving seeing your turmoil about how to do it. During my playthrough, I went straight to the abandoned house and found out how bad of an idea that is. And then I ended up staying in the car. My choice to stay in the car helped me out so much more the next day. Like my next day scenario was a joke compared to yours. You had this whole chase scene. You were controlling 2 different characters. It was like life or death for both of them. And I just walked. That's all it was.
And piggybacking off of that real quick, in that moment, Connor showed up because Kara was ID'd by the owner of the hotel. Which, by the way, only reason I went to the motel is because I didn't find the house and the car until after I stole the money. And I couldn't go back because... And people on the stream, Vlad, if you're watching this, Vlad was like, go back and take more money than shoot him. Like, he was just trying to get me to do awful stuff, but I couldn't because the game wouldn't let me.
Right.
But, so Connor shows up. It's this really cool moment where you're switching between the characters' perspectives. And in that moment... Kara and Alice, your plan A is sneak past the cops. I tried to do that. And then because a missed button, well, it wasn't a missed button prompt, it's just it wouldn't let me hide. And so I kind of screwed myself over. If I had snuck around, I'm sure that she and Connor never would have seen each other and she would have gotten out fine. But I failed that, and so suddenly it became a street chase. Kara starts to run, and then boom, I'm Connor, and I'm running down the street. And I'm like, oh shoot, this is crossing over way quicker than I thought it would. And then he's chasing her. She gets to the street, and that street crossing scene is the most stressed out I've been in my entire life. I had to cross the street as Kara with Alice. Almost died probably a few times. And then Connor has this moment where he tries to chase after them. And Hank tells him, you will get yourself killed. Don't. And there was this moment where I could have pursued. And so that's blowing my mind because in that moment I realized, oh my gosh, if I hadn't stayed in the motel, none of this would have happened. And now I decided to not pursue because it was this moment where I was suddenly working against both of my characters. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I like everybody.
That gets so much worse.
Yeah.
The rest of the game.
I'm sure it does.
I mentioned this to you, and I don't think this is very spoilery, but basically, I attached to Kara and Alice, and there was a certain point in the game where I said, okay, from now on, because I started to realize how much Connor and Marcus were going to affect her story, I pretty much made a decision, okay, from now on, every decision I make as Marcus and Connor, I'm going to ask myself, is this going to help or hurt Kara? And then I would go from there. So... Yeah. They all clash, and unless you put them all on the same side, it's possible that you could kill one another.
And that's crazy.
Which now that I've played through the way I want to, and now that I'm starting my second playthrough, I know that I'm probably going to kill one of my characters earlier than I did before, because it's so good, and there's so many. I love the flow chart that they show you afterwards. And I don't know if you know this, Steven, but you can look at that mid mission. You can look at that. If you press start, you can go to the flow chart and you can see where you are, what decisions you made, and you won't know what the other options would have been, but you'll see like, oh, I picked a direction where I could have picked 4. Like there were 4 other options. You'll also see things that aren't connected to anything, which are like optional things. And if you're like trying to platinum or do anything like that, you'll want to try and find what those are. That's why mine took me so long to play through, because I would check and try to figure out, is there anything I'm missing on this floor before I'd go to the next one. Like I've read all the magazines and tried to read as much as I can. But anyway, it's so good, and the story is really good. It does make some leaps, but I think for the most part, if you suspend some disbelief and just admit that this world is how it is, then it's a lot better. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, Steven, you got to know that it's basically a quick time event movie that you're watching. But you can really be so invested in the story because you're making a lot of meaningful decisions. Like there are things that happen to me in the end game. Like people would re-show up that I didn't even remember who they were, but it was something I unlocked in the first or second mission. So it's so good. And
I will say, some of the characters do have some pretty good gameplay, even though it is more of a quick time event movie. Because each of the characters, at least in my experience, you've played more of the game, so you can correct me here if I'm wrong, but they each play like a distinctive game genre. Connor works with the police, so when you're playing as him, you're basically a detective, trying to solve crimes and interrogate people. He's my favorite one to play because I feel like Batman when I'm playing Connor, which is awesome.
His gameplay is what sold me on the whole thing.
Same,
so,
me too.
Yeah, his is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I went in expecting to only like him, and then I walked away after probably 4 hours of gameplay loving all 3 of the characters.
Right.
But Kara, more often than not, feels like a horror game, which is really unfortunate because she and Alice, you want them to succeed.
There's one section, and I can't... Yeah, there's one section, and I can't remember if you've played it or not, because I haven't watched your second stream.
The house.
The creepy house? Yeah,
the Sid from Toy Story?
Yeah. Okay, great. Hers is definitely more horror, and or even thriller, if you wanted to call it that.
Yeah, horror, suspense, thriller,
It's a lot of risky decisions. Everybody's life is on the line a lot of times, but it's so much more intense with Alice and Kara. And then maybe it's just obviously because Alice is a child. It's because
of Alice, yeah. Like she's the emotional weight with Kara, honestly.
Yeah.
But Marcus, I've played Marcus probably the least, but as far as I can tell, his is more of an action adventure kind of story where he does a lot. Where Connor does the more detective vision kind of stuff, with Marcus, you do the parkour stuff, and it has more to do with stealth missions and takedowns and stuff. So his is more of a action-y type character. But I loved how all 3 of the characters played like different games. I thought that was really cool. So there is some gameplay, but
oh yeah, and there is, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up buying it, was because I was like, okay, there's at least a little bit of gameplay here. But yeah, you just kind of have to have that expectation in mind. So anyway, check it out. It's worth checking out. There is a demo, I think, still on PlayStation 4, so give that a shot if you really want to. Even it's the first mission that you demo. There's like 4 or 5 different ways that can go, and it all affects how the game will end. So do that for sure. Let's jump into some news now, Steven. One of the the biggest news this week for me, I don't know, this kind of came not out of nowhere, but like I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it is. And of course, I'm talking about Pokemon Let's Go for the
What
Switch.
the hell was that?
I'm
Like-
telling you, baby.
When I heard the name Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I was thinking like Pokemon Snap or something like that was like nothing. And then I saw it and I was like, what?
So I can't remember if we've talked about this on the podcast before or not, but probably it must have been 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, since I've been gone for a week. But 2 or 3 weeks ago, the name Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee with some logos was leaked from somewhere. I can't remember. And we were all, I was like, surely this isn't the new Pokemon. Like, that would be a little quick. But people really didn't know what was up. Then, I guess it was last week, the Pokemon show that's going on right now that takes place in Alola, the Alola region, announced that they were going to have a big surprise at the end of, I guess it was Tuesday's episode. And that surprise was like a Pokemon Direct almost, because they announced announced Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They announced Pokemon Quest, which is this free mobile game that you can also play on the Switch, which I've heard mixed bag reviews, but it's like a free to start, but you have to like pay to continue playing and stuff. So it's like a whatever. That's out today. That's out right now if you want to go check that out. But then they also announced Pokemon Eevee and Pikachu, and then they announced that the Pokemon game that they talked about last year at E3, I'm going to call it the Pokemon RPG, that game will come out in 2019, which makes way more sense to me than people have been thinking that was going to happen this year, and I was just like, I don't know how that can happen. Like, there's just no way it's going to happen that fast. Honestly, 2019 seems a little fast to me. I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up being pushed to like early 20. But I'll let it let it happen and see what happens.
What an announcement though. Like, you expect to hear about the Pokemon RPG, and then they're like, no, here's a crap ton of stuff that we've not talked about yet, and the RPG is not even here yet. Like,
yeah. So here's the thing that like just blows my mind. Go watch if you haven't seen it already. Go watch the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee trailer. It feels like to me like the ultimate Pokemon game. Like the music is so hype. There's all this different stuff, and it's just like, and there's this, and there's this, and it connects to Pokemon Go, and it's this, and
and that's like, when I watched that, I was like, whoa, hold on, what? Like, I'm still trying to process the first thing, and you're Billy Mazing me right now. I can't handle all of this.
Yeah, it is awesome. So let's just break it down. Let me break it down. What all is in the game? So, at its very basic, it is a reimagining of Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, so it's Kanto.
Kanto region,
Yeah.
which is the very first. I mean, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red and Blue. Did Yellow come first or Red and Blue?
Red and
Yellow,
Blue came first. Yellow
That's
came
what I
after
thought.
the popularity of the TV show, because
Yes.
Yellow followed the TV show.
Yes. So anyway, Red and Blue and Yellow were like the first games for Pokemon. That's where Pokemon took off. I actually played Yellow. I never played Red or Blue. So.
I played Blue. My brother had Yellow.
Okay. So Yellow was my first. But anyway, that's the very beginning. So this is a reimagining of that game. Obviously with completely redone graphics. It's the 3D style Pokemon game. So at its very basic, that is what it is. Some things that have changed are you pick a Pikachu or an Eevee based on which game you buy as your starter Pokemon. Obviously, I'm going with Eevee.
Anyone who doesn't
even
pick
though
Eevee
I'm wearing
is
a
wrong.
Pokemon shirt. Amen, Steven. Thank
Like-
you. Not
like,
only
why-
is Eevee the cutest Pokemon ever, but all his evolutions are way better than
You could
Pikachu's.
have literally anything you want with Eevee.
Yes.
I just hope that later gen evolutions are an option, because Umbreon's my favorite evolution.
They're not.
They're not.
No, it's just the first. Right now, they may add eventually, but yeah, Umbreon is my favorite. Is it?
That's the dark one.
Yeah. Umbreon is my favorite. I always want to say Espeon is the darker one because that sounds more correct to me. But yeah, that's the psychic one. Yeah. Anyway, yes, Eevee is by far better, so that's what I'm getting. Thankfully, everyone else wants Pokemon, wants Let's Go Pikachu, so I am definitely getting Eevee, so that's fine. Anyway, you pick one of those. Those are your starter Pokemon. You cannot evolve those at all. They can't change at all. But they will always be with your character. So like Eevee is going to be like riding on your character's head, and Pikachu is going to be like on your character's shoulder. And then they're bringing back a really popular feature from, I want to say it was Silver and something.
Where the Pokemon follows you?
Yes.
That's from Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yes. So that feature was basically you could pick any Pokemon that'll just follow your character around in the world. So they're doing that, and some of them are rideable. So like if you have a Charizard
rode an Onix.
I know they rode an Onix. There's like any of the bigger ones you can ride, and then the smaller ones will just follow you around. There's one image going around Twitter right now, which is a shot from the trailer with the girl character who's got her Eevee on her head with a Gengar behind her, and the Gengar looks terrifying as hell. And so people have like redrawn that to be even scarier and stuff. But anyway, that's a huge, like, that's just, you've got me. You sold me there.
So because of the whiplash of this trailer that I was experiencing, like literally, I was laying on my couch, and I was watching this trailer, and then suddenly I see there are 2 players on the screen. Is this game co-op?
Yes, it's co-op. It's drop-in co-op. So here, let me go there. So things that are different from a normal game is, for one, this is the first co-op that you can do.
Yep.
The way that works is basically
you do one Joy-Con, right? And another person
so that you play the whole game with one Joy-Con.
Yeah.
And that involves motion controls, and motion controls are built into it. You cannot play the game without motion controls. Even in handheld mode, you'll have to toss your Switch a little bit, which is a huge downside in my opinion, but I'll let it slide because of how much else there is. Anyway, so since you can play with one Joy-Con, or that's like how you play the game, you can take the other one and just shake it, and another character will drop in. The way that works is basically both people are sharing whoever the main player's stuff is. So if you engage in a Pokemon battle, it'll be a 2v1.
Right.
But your friend will be controlling one of your other Pokemon.
That's so good though. That's like
it's so fun.
That's such a simple answer.
I can't wait to do a Let's Play with this.
Yes.
Because it's going to be great.
I texted you guys after I saw that trailer. I was like, guys, this may be a system seller for me. I swear, if they even show Fire Emblem coming out this year, I'm buying a system immediately.
I want to come back to that, but let's finish through what else is going. So the other major thing that's different is there are, in a Pokemon game, you walk through the grass, and then suddenly you're in a battle, but you have no idea. You just were walking through the grass and something appeared. Now the Pokemon will be visible. So
that's awesome.
I can see what's in the grass, and so I can either walk around it or I can walk up to it if it's something I want to catch. The other difference though is wild Pokemon battles are Pokemon Go now. So there are no fighting wild Pokemon. You once you find a Pokemon, you run up to it, it brings you up to like what you would do in Pokemon Go, where it's like, here's the Pokemon, toss your Pokeball. Did you catch it? Did you not? Whatever. It's all catching the Pokemon is all going to be dependent on how well you throw the ball, which is how it works in Go. So you'll use motion controls and stuff like that. I would be really upset about this if there weren't at least Pokemon battles with trainers. So you'll still have the typical Pokemon battle with trainers.
How can you farm experience for your Pokemon then? How do you train them?
That is a great question. It's, as far as I can tell, the only thing they've really talked about, that everything I've read asks that question, and Pokemon doesn't really have an answer yet. They're like Please wait for more details, but it will work. My guess is there might be somewhere that you can go and just constantly fight trainers.
Yeah.
Or you may have to do something different. I'll tell you another thing. Another thing they announced was a physical thing that you can buy, which is the Pokemon Ball Plus, which is basically a Pokeball. It looks like a Pokeball, but it's also a Joy-Con. And one of the cool features you can do with it is you can put a Pokemon from Let's Go into that Pokeball and carry it around with you. And like when you shake it, if it's Pikachu or Eevee or whatever, they'll make a noise. And if you like kind of pet it almost, it'll make some noise. I have a feeling whoever you carry around with you will gain experience depending on how long it goes with you and how much you interact with it. I could totally be wrong, but they have mentioned that you'll get a benefit from having it with you. Yeah. And I've got to think that might be part of it. If nothing else, it'll build like your trust with that Pokemon maybe. I don't know. That's my guess. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I mentioned the wild Pokemon battles. You can trade your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Let's Go as long as they're from Kanto. So like the second generation Pokemon that are in Pokemon Go right now cannot be transferred over. And we don't know, because like the Pokemon Go Pokemon have certain stats and like things that we don't think they're going to transfer in the same way to Pokemon Let's Go. The other interesting thing is once you send a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go, it cannot go from Let's Go to Pokemon Go. Yeah. You can send gifts to Let's Go, which I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to work. And apparently sending, I don't know if it's sending a GIF or what, but sending something from Pokemon Let's Go will unlock a completely new, never before seen Pokemon in Pokemon Go. I'm hoping it will also be in Let's Go, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know how that all works out. They haven't said that yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. They said there's not going to be HMs, which are the moves like fly and
Cut,
things like that.
surf.
Yeah, because in Pokemon Alola, they had like rideable Pokemon that you could just always have access to.
Yeah.
That kind of saved you from having to keep one Pokemon that could always do a surf or a rock bash or whatever, which is great. The other thing that's really cool is, in Pokemon, you have the boxes that you keep like all the Pokemon you're not using in.
Yeah.
That are normally at like a health center or whatever,
yeah.
Pokemon Center. You carry that box with you now. So you don't have to fly to the nearest one, switch out your Pokemon, then fly back. You have that box with you all the time and can just switch out who is on your roster, which is a huge yes feature. So I'm all about that.
It takes away from the difficulty a little bit though, but I mean
the difficulty.
It takes away from it a little bit.
What do you mean?
Where you can just swap out Pokemon at any point in time, anywhere you are?
Not in the middle of a battle, but like before you go into one, yeah.
Yeah, that takes away from the difficulty a little bit. I mean, I'm fine with it. It's a Pokemon game, but
I for one I've come to points where I am about to do a big battle, and I know I'm about to do a big battle, and so I will fly to a Pokemon Center, either heal up my guys or trade out some guys who I think would be better for the fight, and then fly back. So this is just going to save me time and effort. So yeah, if you that's the gist of it. If you really want to go read, IGN has a really in-depth article with like questions they asked the developers and stuff. So if you want to go read their article, but basically I am pumped about every element of it except for the motion controls. But I feel like I can get past some of that. Because even the motion controls in Mario Odyssey, I grew to like. But I don't know. Anyway, so you mentioned earlier, Steven, it being a system seller. Do you think it will be a system seller?
It depends on how they because when I heard Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I assumed it was going to be some kind of overly integrated Pokemon Go thing.
Right.
and it sounds like it is integrated into Pokemon Go pretty deeply. But if this game stands on its own as a console Pokemon game with drop-in, drop-out co-op that has you playing through the whole Kanto region, that is very close to being a system seller.
So that's the thing that's so interesting about it. It's basically a remaster with a lot of fan favorite things that has happened since the first one, plus the new thing of Pokemon Go, plus the new thing of Pokemon being visible in the grass, plus co-op, plus motion controls, really, I guess. But it's like they took a mainline game, or they remastered a mainline game, and then just went crazy with what else they could put into it. I can't wait for the RPG that's going to come out in 2019 now, because if they can put in all of these features, plus it'll probably be drastically overhauled graphics. Like, these graphics look really good, but they are very similar to Alola or Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, it looks a lot better than that one, obviously, because it's on a Switch console instead of just a regular handheld. But still, I expect whatever RPG we see in 2019 to be even better. But anyway, I'm so excited. I pre-ordered. I put that crap on my calendar. I am ready for that. The other big announcement that came, and it was really funny how it all happened, because Bethesda teased this, then Pokemon announced their shit, and I loved all the memes that popped up of the one where the guy's like turning around and he's looking at the other girl walking by. I loved how someone did it where it was the guy walking with the girl, and the girl is Fallout's tease, and then the girl walking by who he's looking at was Pokemon Let's Go, and I loved that. Anyway, but that's exactly what happened, because Fallout teased something with a please stand by, and then Pokemon came out, and then Bethesda announced Fallout 76. Steven, what are your thoughts on Fallout 76? Not to be confused with Soldier 76.
My thoughts are, I'm kind of annoyed with Bethesda pulling this every time they pull this, because it's like, I'm excited about this Pokemon thing.
Yes.
Because I was showed reasons to be excited about it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that excitement is earned, for me anyway, because Fallout, I like Fallout a lot.
Yeah.
Not a huge fanboy of it. But whenever they decide to just basically say the words new Fallout, people act like it's basically the thing that breaks the internet.
Yeah.
That's not deserved. To me, Pokemon Let's Go, that was deserved. That was earned. They showed us reasons to be excited.
I mean,
Fallout
they showed
76,
us gameplay. They showed us. They explained what the game is. This was very much a teaser trailer. We know nothing.
It's an E3 tease, yeah.
What
that's what Bethesda loves to do.
Yes, they do. What we know about this game is all rumor and speculation at this point. The speculation going around right now is that it's going to be an online survival game. People have compared it to Day One, DayZ. Miles, who's another guy on the channel, he was texting me. He basically thought that this was going to be the Fallout version of Elder Scrolls Online, which I think makes a lot of sense, except I don't think they're going to do it exactly like that. So I don't know. I kind of think it's going to be some version of like DayZ mixed with an MMO RPG type of online game. But I also think there's going to be like base building or something, because that was a big part of Fallout 4.
I pretty heavily disagree at this being Fallout Online, because I mean, if you're going to market something, if you're going to market Fallout Online, like call it Fallout Online, make it clear, and maybe Fallout 76 is code name for the full title that's going to be revealed at E3.
Right.
We don't know, but which honestly, I would commend them for it if they were like Fallout 76. Oh yeah, that was just a teaser for the title. It's actually Fallout Online, and it's focused on Vault 76. I would applaud them on that.
Yeah.
But for now, like, I just don't see this being it with a Fallout MMO. I do see it being something similar to DayZ. I'm pretty sold on it having a PvP component. Because if someone's going to compare it to DayZ, which somebody did, I forget who it was, but it was somebody involved, I think. He said, don't expect a single-player RPG or you'll be disappointed.
And that's, a lot of people are expecting it to be that, and I certainly don't think that's what it's going to be. Regardless of if gameplay is like Elder Scrolls Online, this is what Fallout's Elder Scrolls Online is. Regardless of how it's played or what genre it is, this is the sideman to whatever the main game will continue to be.
Right. And people commented, it's pretty funny going to the YouTube video for the trailer, #SafePlayer1. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Everyone is like, it's kind of staggering how many people are saying that, which I don't completely agree with because I'm all for online experiences. Just don't make it a BR.
Right.
I'm expecting it to be a BR.
Right. You thought it's going to be a BR completely in the vault or in a vault.
That's what would make sense to me, but lore has taught me otherwise.
Right.
Everyone talking about Vault 76. Miles is pretty big into Fallout, so he told me about all that. But if you're going to compare the game to DayZ, there's going to be a competitive aspect to it, to where you can turn on your friends.
See, and that's what I'm most confused about is the trailer talks about reclaiming, rebuilding the wasteland that's above the vaults. So that makes me think you're going to like build and reclaim, but I don't know. It seems like it's just not going to be that, but that's how they kind of framed it. So I don't know. We're going to find out more at E3 for sure. But right now it's just kind of a tangled mess of...
Yeah. To me, it's just like, I'm still pretty convinced that it's going to take place primarily in the vault.
See, and I think that would be so cool. I think it would be so cool to see what vault life is like.
Yeah. As I mean, they're calling it Fallout 76, based on Vault 76. We've seen nothing but the vault. That makes me think that this is going to be a side project, not a mainline Fallout game.
It's definitely not a mainline for sure.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Bethesda history that would make it would say this is going to be the next like mainline thing that they're going to do would be an Elder Scrolls,
or Starfield.
Or Starfield.
I'm still banking on that. I'm probably giving them too much credit, but
I feel like they're gonna announce a new Elder Scrolls, and then we might hear something about that. But I don't know. Either way, this is definitely a side thing. It is not a mainline anything. But anyway, all right, let's move on. PlayStation Plus for the month of June is way better than the Xbox Gold for the month of June.
I don't know, Jake. Those games are normally pretty lame.
Anyway, so PlayStation Plus owners, this month you get XCOM 2.
What?
Steven, what is that game?
Never heard of that game.
Never heard of that game. So this is just the base game. War of the Chosen, which is what you've been live streaming, is an expansion.
Yes. So there's 3 main expansions with some other DLC in the mix. There's Alien Hunters and Shen's Last Gift, which adds some pretty significant content. But then there's War of the Chosen, which is at full price a $40 expansion. But it feels like XCOM 2.5, basically.
Right.
Like almost XCOM 3. So this is just vanilla.
Right.
But vanilla is still a phenomenal game.
Yeah. And we're actually talking about this weekend, actually, filming a kind of how to get started with XCOM 2 video. Yeah. So next Tuesday, right before the normal stream, that video will go up, and you can see that, and maybe it'll help you get started as you download
It's a game you don't want to go into blind, unless if you want to hurt emotionally.
The other game is Trials Fusion, which is kind of like an ATV off-road. I think it's a racing game, something like that. I'm not real. Someone
It's
could
like
tell
a
me it's one of the best
side-scrolling-
ones of those, and I still wouldn't really care.
It's like a side-scrolling BMX game.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Oh. It's even worse. Anyway. Then on PlayStation 3, if you're still using that, you get Zombie Driver HD, which sounds really cool. I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool. And then Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
That's a good game.
Yeah. And then on Vita, and most likely cross-buy on PS4, they usually are, but I don't know. Atomic Ninjas, which sounds a lot like it's like a 4-player all on one screen. You're a ninja and you're trying to kill your friends. And then Squares, which looks a lot like a puzzle game where you're kind of like sliding squares, almost trying to solve a puzzle type thing.
Fascinating.
Looked interesting, but anyway. Xbox Games with Gold. You get Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia. You get Smite Gold Edition. You get Sonic All-Star Racing. And Lego Indiana Jones. So, if you're one of those Xbox losers, that's what you get. I'm excited about XCOM 2 because I know how much you loved it. I've watched you streaming it, so I'm excited to try it. But and then the rest of it, I may try trial. I usually download whatever I can to my PS4 and just kind of keep it in my back pocket. But anyway, because that's what you got to do. But anyway, it's not like my favorite. Like, this is definitely a low month for me, PS Plus wise. That's exciting with XCOM 2, but that's about it. They've released things that I've been more excited about. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's several things you can do to help us out. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com, and you can leave us a comment on what you thought about our conversation and topics that we've talked about. Let us know if you're excited about Pokemon Let's Go, if you're excited to play XCOM now that you can get it for free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber.
And if you'd like to see us stream
listener,
the PC Gaming Show.
Say what now?
And if you'd like to see us stream the PC Gaming Show, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Hey, Minesweeper is a hot topic.
Is it really now?
No.
And then if you're an audio listener, you can leave us a nice little review. iTunes is the best place to do that right now. That really helps the podcast there. You can also email us at chortlecast@gmail.com. And you can send us topic ideas. If there's a news story you hear about during the week that you want to make sure we talk about, you can send it to us that way. All that good jazz. And then you can also tweet us at Chortle Games or find us on Facebook, also Chortle Games. And we're also on Twitch sometimes, and you can watch us there. I don't know why I mentioned that at the end of that there, but we're there on Twitch too. So anyway.
And Discord.
Huh?
And Discord.
It is. And Discord. Yes, we have a Discord. I don't know how to... I'll put it in the description. I'll put a link in the description for you. If you're watching on YouTube, I will put it in the description of this podcast on iTunes, but I don't know how that works, so good luck with that. Anyway, we've got great content for you coming up next week. We're going to be doing Mario Aces, Jake versus Steven on Monday. Actually, hang on. Let me back up. I'm sorry. I'm doing this wrong. Tonight, I am going to be with Steven, live streaming all sorts of good stuff. We're going to be live streaming the Mario Aces beta, which will be going on this weekend. So we're going to... Actually, I think I'm just doing that by myself. You may not be there for that live stream. Then we're going to be streaming Swords of Ditto, which is a 2-player game. Me and Brody did a Let's Play of it earlier, but now Steven and I are going to stream a little bit of it Friday. Saturday, Steven is going to be streaming some Detroit, continuing his story. So if you liked or your interest was piqued during our conversation, but you don't want to, go out and buy it just yet, you can watch Steven's. I will say he's about to be at a point where a lot of decisions start to really, really matter, and you start to see repercussions of some decisions you've already made. So if you want to watch, no, he's getting deep into spoiler territory, but it'll be interesting. And then we are going to be live streaming something with Friendly Fire Games after that.
Yes.
We're tossing around Warframe and
Killing
Rocket
Floor
League
2 and Rocket League.
Yeah, some other stuff. Maybe we could do Fortnite. That might be fun. Anyway, tune in Saturday to find out what that is. Next week, Monday, we'll have a Mario Aces Let's Play. It's going to be me versus Steven. So you're going to get to see how that goes.
I don't even know what that game is.
It's tennis. It's tennis, Steven. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
okay, cool. I love tennis.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Then on Tuesday, we'll have Steven's XCOM 2 How to Get Started tips video. It'll probably go up around 12 or 1. It may be a little later than a normal Let's Play would come out. And then Steven will be streaming XCOM War of the Chosen that Tuesday night. As always, if you want to be a part of that, you can comment a name, first name, last name, a nickname. They can all be fake. A class if you know it, any descriptors if you know it, and Steven will put you in the game. That stream is probably going to be a little bit geared towards like how to get started and stuff. So expect a lot of fresh people to join in that. So, you know, that's what to expect there. Then Wednesday, we're going to play this fun game called Knowledge is Power. It's going to be a Let's Play with me and Steven, my wife, Lee Allison, Steven's girlfriend, Anna, and possibly Miles and his girlfriend, who she's never been on the show, on the channel officially, so this will be really cool if she gets to make it. So anyway, look forward to that Wednesday. Thursday, we'll have a couch co-op live stream for you. That's where we play games like Gang Beast or Far Cry or something. Typically, we try to make sure it's co-op. Sometimes we try to make sure it's something where all the action's happening on one screen.
If possible, we do it to where it's a like a top-down game where you can see everybody on one screen, and if we can, we have them all in the same room. But if not, we try to make it a cooperative game where we're being friends and not trying to kill each other because friendship is fun.
Friendship is fun. And then, of course, next Friday, we'll have another great podcast. That podcast actually is going to be talking about our E3 predictions. And then we'll have 2 live streams that Friday. And then Saturday, E3 starts. So all that craziness. Like I said, we're going to be doing live streams for all the conferences starting June 9th. And we'll have 1 that day, 2 the next, 3 the next, and then 1 more to kick it all off. So a lot of great stuff happening as E3 comes. It's a crazy time of year, and I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 is happening, baby. It's happening.
Oh, no, Jake.
Huh?
Don't get too excited. I'll believe it when it's in your hands.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to riot. I'm going to riot real hard. I honestly, what I am hoping will happen is that Square Enix conference, they're just going to be like, they're going to show a trailer. It's going to be really, really cool. And then they're going to be like, July 30th or something. And I'm going to be like, oh my God. I can't wait.
Yeah, tune in for that, because no matter what they say about Kingdom Hearts, Jake's going to have a strong opinion.
Yes, I'll have a very strong opinion one way or the other, so that'll be exciting. But anyway, thanks for watching. Steven, you got any final thoughts or comments?
Tune in for Mario Aces. It's going to be a real racket.
We'll see you guys next time. I hate my life.